Okay, so here I am, Mikey. Good to see you, OCD Mikey. And I am here to share with you some ugly truths about HiFi. Okay. Um, my intent is to save you time and save you money and save me returns and save people frustration and that kind of stuff. Okay. So let's start with number one. Number one ugly truth about HiFi: you can only go so far with a room that you need to share with the rest of the family. Okay, so in other words, if your hi-fi room is it's the living room. Okay, and there's the TV and the coffee table and all the other furnitures and chairs and stuff, and you've got one speaker over here and one speaker kind of over there, and they're not really evenly spaced, and one's closer, one's further, and one's, it's all cockamamie sort of set up. Really, don't take it serious. Okay, I don't mean to be like a spoil sport, but you can't take hi-fi completely serious with a room like that. That's all there is to it. And what I mean by that is that if you spend more money thinking, oh, I'm going to get serious, I'm going to pony up some cash, you're not going to make an image because you're spending more money in a room that is set up where you're set up like that. You just can't. There are certain parameters that you must meet in order to get perfect imaging, and it means no damn coffee table. There's nothing in front of you between you and the speaker. You might could do it even without. I've actually done it with coffee table. It won't be perfect. You can still get imaging with the coffee table. But if you can't get your speakers evenly spaced, where you're sitting in the middle between them, kind of evenly with the same distance to each ear, then you're definitely not getting imaging. You need to be dead center of the two speakers. They need to be evenly spaced from your ear, distance wise, and on the same plane of the lateral plane as you look at them. Okay, that's how you're going to get imaging. They need to be, and depending on the speaker, they'll either need to be out from the wall, or they will, or some of them can be actually at the back or at the front wall. But you'll need to consult with somebody to determine which ones work best against the wall and which ones don't. Okay, so the room is your number one culprit to you getting what you want. If you're looking for the magic, okay, that's what I will accept nothing less. Okay, so when you come here and you're getting instructions and pointers from me, just keep in mind, I accept no half measure. I only want the magic, and I won't listen to music if there isn't the magic. It's just a waste of my time. Now, there are certain instances where I will. I mean, I don't mean to. If I'm in Costa Rica and I'm in a Jeep, I'll listen to the little JBL pod or whatever. Whatever. But at my home here in USA, where I have my setup, I will accept nothing other than magic. Okay, and that's what I'm trying to teach people here to do, how to get there and how to do it in the most expedient, efficient manner, and without overspending. Okay. Number two, ugly truth about hi-fi setup: you really can't image properly unless you have a DAC that can do that, or a tape or phono preamp that can do that. Okay, usually that means over $3,000. Okay, most likely you can still get it in between 3 and 5. You can still get it, and then if you just want the killer, forget about it. Then that's more. So keep that in mind. You can't go farther than your DAC. Okay, so if you're using I don't know, a PS Audio, okay, a benchmark, a shit, um, uh, um, I'm not going to go too far in it. I don't want, I don't want to disparage too many brands. But those can only go so far. Okay, no matter what, you're never going to get a world class system with the PS Audio DAC. I don't care. It's not going to be world class. It's incapable. Okay, of doing that. Okay, so you'll get a certain level, and that's as far as you can go. Just have your expectations aligned with what you are willing to spend. Okay. Um, so that is an ugly truth. Your preamp or your DAC, for most of us, your DAC is what sets the line. That's the line that's drawn for how far you can take things. Okay. Number three ugly truth is your amp won't fix anything. The amp is on the end. That's right before the speaker. You've already done everything by the time it gets to the amp. Okay. Now you want to have a good amp for sure, because you want it to be able to recreate things without changing it, right? So you want a high quality amp. You want something that has enough power, enough current to drive your speakers. You want something that isn't going to falter if you've got an reactive load, like a speaker that likes to swing in, impedance. You want, and so those are the things that you look for. It's not just all out watts at all. I've got Jeff Rowland 625 S2s. They are 325 per channel. There's nothing that one of these stereo amps will not kick ass driving, period. I don't care how big. That's all anybody would ever need is a Jeff Rowland 625 S2. One stereo amp, the rest of your life, never need anything else. That's just one example, okay? Jeff's stuff is very transparent, okay? Then Nelson Pass has great stuff too. A lot bigger than Jeff's, larger, heavier, hotter, and kind of a house sound. Okay, they typically have a nice liquid mid-range. They typically have a little bit of a sound to them, a house sound. And you'll see that some pieces are like that, some are not. Anyways, so your amp's not going to fix anything. Your amp's not going to make the system image. It's not going to give it something that's not already there, because an amp is designed to not do that. An amp is designed to just make it louder. That's it, take it to 11. That's what your amp is made to do. It's just takes something and makes it louder without changing it. That's the whole thing. You don't want to change it. You want to just make it louder, don't change it, and then it's got to be tough where nothing bothers it. Okay, it's not going to overheat. It's not going to get, smoking hot, and it's not going to falter. You want one that just, no, it's got no problems. My rule of thumb is with the amplifier, get one whereby you do not have to go past halfway on your volume. Okay, that's key. That means you want your amp operating at 50% of its capacity, because that's the sweet spot, in between like 50 and 60, no higher than 60. You go past 60% on your amplifier, you're getting into its distortion profile. That is where the big numbers, the distortion numbers start to come up, when you've got it, when it's throttled, okay? Don't throttle your amps ever, okay? You can put a 1,000-watt amp on a 100 dB speaker, it doesn't matter. You're not gonna blow it, okay? You could explode the thing, right? It's not going to blow in the traditional sense. Like, you could break it if you give something too much power. But a speaker, if you gently turn it up, will let you know before it breaks. It's going to bap, it's going to hit, and it's going to bottom out. It's going to make a pump, something like that. Like, sounds like paper hitting something, or like you'll hear the cone bottom out before it breaks. And when the second you hear that, you turn it down, okay? And so a speaker will let you know if it's that way. Now, if you're sending it high distortion and you can't hear that, and you're just cranking it and you've got high distortion and you don't even realize, you're going to cook the speaker. Okay, it's going to melt down. And that's like, and then if you go even, the death knell is sending it a square wave. You send that puppy a square wave that's chopped off, your speaker is done. Poof, there it goes. Okay, because it didn't have enough power. That's what blew your speaker. Your amp did not have enough power. You were pushing and throttling the piss out of your amp until the point where it was giving out crap. It was pooping. It wasn't even doing what it should do, It's just trying to keep itself from imploding, and So you always want the amp to be more than you need. Always, because then you run it at a lower capacity and it's going to give you brilliant sound for your whole lifetime, okay? Let's see, another ugly truth, number 4, ugly truth about HiFi. Cables do make a difference, okay? I don't care what you say, who you are, if cables didn't make a difference, there would not be this many cable companies that are successful and in business for this many years. There isn't that many dumb shits out there that believe in snake oil to keep this many cable companies in business for this long, okay? There's obviously something to it, or cable companies would not be in business. Come on, let's think about it. I mean, most audiophiles are somewhat intelligent. That's why we like HiFi, because we're connoisseurs of sound, So that means we're not dumbasses, right? I hope not, And so That would mean we'd have to have an inordinate amount of dumbasses to support the snake oil business of cables. And I hate to break it to you, because some people, it's an easy way out of them for spending money. They're like, phew, if I just become a cable hater, I will never have to spend money on cables. Well, the ugly truth is, yes, you are going to have to if you want your rig to be at 100% of its ability. You're going to need to put in good cables, bottom line. So either you accept that you're going to run your rig at 80% of its capacity of what it's able to do, and you just put in lamp cord or whatever junk, the cheap stuff, and Mogami, or whatever that stuff is, anything cheap, or you are going to put a little money in it, and it doesn't take that much, man. A couple $1,000, whatever, over time, and you won't believe the difference that you get. Okay, it's huge. I have breakthrough power cords, and people lose their shit when I send it to them. I'm not kidding. I should record it and play it back for you guys. They absolutely lose their mind. They can't believe that their system was capable of doing that, and they're overjoyed because they just got an upgrade. It cost them $600, $700, maybe $1,200, depending if it's silver or copper, and it's like they just got a brand new component that went way in the right direction. So that's the truth, is you're going to have to spend money on cables if you want your rig at 100%. If you're willing to accept it at 80%, then hey, fine, no big deal. Okay, don't buy cables. Put in lamp cord. It's fine. Still work. Still make you happy, but it won't get you to 100% of what you spent your hard-earned cash on. I sure want 100% out of my rig. So that is number 4 ugly truth. Okay, number 5 ugly truth about HiFi. It's the brands that you don't know about that are the best brands for value. In terms of value versus performance, it's the brands you've never heard of, most of them, or maybe you've heard a little bit about them. Okay, the ugly truth, the 5th ugly truth about HiFi is that the biggest, most prominent names that are not the best sounding. If you look in an audio magazine or you look on an audio website, the products that you see most of, that the most well, Macintosh, Audio Research, Sonus Faber, Kef, Klipsch, all that stuff, they're okay, but they're not at all the best. They're not at all the top of the market, at all, ever, period. That's it. Okay, why is that, you ask? Well, it's because they're public companies. They're they're traded. They've been purchased by an investment bankers, people that have investments. I mean, they have shareholders and dividends to pay, and if that doesn't increase, the CEO is fired. Okay, so their trip is not to make great audio. Their trip is to make money. Okay, however they can, they're going to squeeze and throttle that name that they have, Macintosh, whatever, till there's no life left in it. And then that's what they do. They will learn and figure out how to make the products less and less expensive and charge you more and more money. Okay, that is capitalism. That is the way it works. It's never good when an investment company buys your manufacturer, ever. Okay, for the guys that want to just cash in and skate, it's cool for them. But for the people that are the ones that buy the product, it's over, baby. Just like any company, in anything. Think of any company whatever hobby you do, and think of the time that one company bought new owners, and then it went to hell because it's a corporation, and they don't care about anything but profit. So there's no heart in it. It's a number. It's a number. So that's the ugly truth. The fifth ugly truth is that what you think is the best is not the best. Okay. Again, the names that you associate with being the best HiFi, those aren't the ones. The ones that are the true best are the ones that are the small boutique type companies where the owner is still there every day. He's the founder, he's still there, and they're selling to you direct, without a dealer network, without a marketing budget, huge plan, without all that other crap. They're just giving you solid value, okay? Because you're buying it direct from the person that makes it, okay? There are a handful of those. You need to know your crap to know which ones to fit together, which ones go good together, which ones are going to be the ones that are, articulate and detailed, which are the ones that are going to be more softer and laid back, because that's there are different types of listening. If you're buying Macintosh at full price, if you're buying Sonos at full price, if you're buying Audio Research at full price, you are getting taken to the cleaners, baby, like wrung out. And you're going to be at home scratching your head. Why doesn't it sound the way it did in the thing, at the show or whatever? And actually, even at the show, it's not going to be good sounding, because it's not stuff that is capable of being the best in show ever. Never is. It's always the smaller companies. Okay, so that's an ugly truth. Number 6 ugly truth. The companies that are constantly doing sales are desperate. Okay, there's a reason. If a company is desperate and always putting stuff on sale, you want to kind of be leery about that product. The best stuff in the world is never discounted. Never. Okay? Ferrari, good luck buying a Ferrari on a discount. And I'm not talking about the used stuff. I'm talking about from the factory, okay? The stuff that's brand new. It never goes on sale, and it's never discounted. That's all there is to it. They know that it's worth the money that they're charging, okay? So the companies out there that have the most integrity are going to, and this isn't all the time, okay? But usually, if there's a company that you don't see the stuff on sale, you don't see it pimped in the advertising all the time. There's no advertisements you ever see for it. The company's probably high integrity, and it could be. I mean, it could be the exact opposite. You have to use your smarts here, okay? And if you don't know these things, again, that's where I come into the picture. I am your advocate. I'm your liaison. I am the guy that fends off the assholes and lets the good guys in, okay? I spent my whole career determining what are the good guys in audio, what are the unsavory profiteers in audio, okay? Because it's my reputation at stake if I recommend something that is a bad experience for someone, I can't do that. So I need to only recommend things or sell things that are a great value, that have great performance, okay? So that is an ugly truth of HiFi. Now let me see what the 7th ugly truth is of HiFi. I don't know if this is an ugly truth or not, but it is absolutely true, okay? It's better to spend more money on your equipment than it is to buy lesser equipment and then schlock it up with tweaks, okay? Tweaks don't make your component, period. Tweaks don't make or break your rig, okay? They shouldn't, okay? Your rig should be able to stand fully on its own with 0 tweaks and just be killer, okay? The tweaks are little things that you put in to fine-tune afterwards. That's done after the fact. After you're already there, then do tweaks. But tweaks should not be a regular part of your getting there. You don't want to use the tweaks to get you where you're going. You get where you're going on the components themselves, some good cables and just decent cables. Don't go, they don't need to be overboard. But as long as you got good cables, good system, then do the tweaks afterwards, and you'll just enhance it. You're just going to bring the nuance out, the little micro details rather. So don't think that you need to buy all these things, the fuses, the things, all the crap, man. I mean, there's so much of it, and it's unregulated, and people can say whatever the hell they want, and we have high hopes of things, and we hear things that, are not there probably, so, go easy on the tweaks. Take it easy. You don't want to overdo it, because the key to HiFi being glorious is not in a tweak at all. It's in a well-designed piece of gear. Okay, another ugly truth. Now that's too that one's too ugly of a truth, and it is true, and it's a drag, and there's no real solution to it, so I'm not going to say it because it's just negative. But should I tell you anyways to save some of you agony and pain? Okay, fine, I'll tell you. Well, I guess there kind of is a solution to it. Okay, okay. Here's the ugly truth. Eighth ugly truth, I guess. Vacuum tubes of very high quality, i.e., NOS vacuum tubes, are finite and they're disappearing and they're becoming very expensive. There is, at one point, there will be no tubes for you to go get, of any speak. I mean, there'll be like only secret people will have secret names and they'll be sold for thousands of dollars. And, do you have the glorious, whatever things? And, so what is the secret or the solution to that is buy designs that use these Russian military tubes, 6N1P, things like that. They're not very expensive tubes. They sound really good. They're from the 80s and 70s and some earlier, and they're plentiful. There's a whole bunch of those, except for the 6C3. What is the 6P3C? The super tube. Okay, that one that Bat made so famous. That thing's all been gobbled up, and that's scarce, and that's not one you want in your design. So if you have a design with a 6C3 or 31 or whatever the hell it is, and you have a choice of designs, and the other one uses 6N1P or 6N6P or whatever, don't buy the super tube one. Those things are now overpriced, and man, they're counterfeited big time, and you're lucky to get some. So you don't want to have a design that has something like that. You want to get something plentiful. 6922, great tube to roll. There is a shit ton of DJ8s, 6DJ8, 6922, ECC83, or what are they, 88, ECC88. So many variants, I don't even know them all, but those are good tubes. There'll be plenty of those around for a while, but the tubes are disappearing, and the old tubes that are expensive definitely sound better than the new tubes that are being made in Russia. Okay, now I'm speaking of mainly the low signal tubes. Now you can still buy current tubes that are the big power output tubes that are very high quality, and they're going to still be made, and that's stuff like Emission Labs, KR Audio. Sophia makes a pretty good 300B. Ninth ugly truth in HiFi. You do not know what the hell you're doing. That's truth. Much as you think you do, you don't know. You do not know. You think you can go and read the damn forums and learn some shit from the people that are on the forums, but you are getting misdirected, okay? You're gonna sit and you're gonna think that the new hot thing that everybody's talking about is the thing to buy, but don't kid yourself. Even though it's a forum, the forums are still shilled, okay? That means there are operants. There are people inside the forums, and you would be surprised at how many posts some of these people have. They're the Pied Pipers, okay, that everybody seems to follow. Well, there are people with money that want to make more, that understand this, and send them free product to talk it up on the forums. And unknowing people that think they're in the safety of a forum where there are no marketers or salespeople, you're wrong. Okay, there are salespeople there, and they're gonna direct you towards whatever makes them money. Okay, they really don't care. They don't care about you. They don't care about your rig. Very few people are like me. I'm struck with this affliction. It's called compassion, and it's called I want to do. This is what I want to do. This was my idea of a career from the beginning, is to be able to create magic and hi-fi in people's lives to improve their lifestyle, because I will improve the world by doing this. I'll improve people's moods, which improves their feelings and how they talk to their families, how they talk to their employees, whatever. I improve people's lifestyle by producing high quality audio rigs that they can go home, sit down and listen, that it makes them, it's like therapy for the soul. Makes them relax, they enjoy music, it gives them love and compassion back in their lives, it fills them with joy. That is how I am giving back in the world, by doing a good job setting people up, okay? And that's my thing. So it's not that way with corporations. We know that, okay? Because they'll censor your ass or do whatever the hell they're gonna, I don't even know. It's ugly. Corporations are not looking out for you, the little guy. They are looking out for themselves because they want to enrich themselves. That's the machine, and it's the ugly truth. Okay, so you don't know what you're doing in HiFi. You don't know what you're doing set up. Now, some of us do. Okay, guys that have been at this for 15 years or more, maybe even some that have been doing it 10 if they're really doing it every day. I've been doing this for 20 years now. Okay, every day of my life, it consumes my mind. I only think about HiFi. I mean, when my mind is wandering, it's thinking about HiFi, or it's thinking about politics. Unfortunately, lately, which I can't stand that. It bothers me. But and just a few other things, man. A motorcycle. I used to think about motorcycling. I haven't been cycling in a while, but I used to. A lot of my thoughts were motorcycling thoughts. Design thoughts, whatever, with other things. So honestly, it engulfs my life. I am HiFi, soup to nuts, almost all the time, 24/7 for the last 20 years. Okay. It's gotten more and more lately because we've been cooped up. But so look, I still don't know stuff. I still don't know everything. Okay, I don't claim to. What I know how to do is I know how to make a kick-ass rig. Okay, I know how to work with what I've got in front of me and make it sound the best that it possibly can. Okay, I know how to take somebody's budget and work within that budget and give them the best I possibly can. I've been studying it every day of my life for the last 20 years. I study it. Okay, so I'm an expert at this. Okay, now if you think that you can come in and start reading the forums or the magazines or whatever, and in a couple years in your spare time, you're going to learn how to set up a rig and learn the nuance of HiFi setup, you're kidding yourself. You're not going to do it. Okay, you need to put your faith in somebody else and do something that you would rather do, okay? If you want a career in HiFi and you're going to spend the next 20 years, then fine, do it, okay? But it takes us a long-ass time to where we can be efficient and understand how to set up a rig and make it sound absolutely killer. And I can do it for sure. I guarantee you I'll do it. I guarantee you I'll do it. As long as I choose all the gear, I choose your complete rig, and I set it up in your room. I do the setup. I will absolutely 100% guarantee you that you will have magic for your whatever your budget is. Probably have to give some sort of line there. I'd say above $5,000, above $5,000. I don't really want to mess. I can do things less expensive, but I'd say in that would be, 5G would be my bare minimum, and then anything 5G or above. And I'm talking for 5G, you're going to get a starter set. You're going to get something that is very, very basic, okay? And it's not going to be big magic. It's going to be little magic. But it will be magic, and it will be 100% of that gear. That stuff will be operating at 100% of its capability. Okay. So that's my guarantee to you. Look, I'm here to teach people about HiFi, and I need to make a living. And so I'm talented at making wicked systems. Okay. I can make the most kick-ass systems. Somebody who has more that wants to do a system bigger than mine, I can design far above my ability to pay for a system, right? So I can put together a $500,000 rig in like you wouldn't believe. I'm not going to have one myself. It's not my ability to do that, but I can design far beyond my capability to purchase certain things, okay? In fact, I do best if I'm in that end of things where people are like, sky's the limit, go for it, Mikey, make it wicked. Those do happen every now and again, and it's the best for me when people say, look, you decide. You make the decisions, Mikey. I just want a wicked rig in here. I want a killer. I'm having people come over. I'm going to entertain. I want it to blow them away. I want it to be low maintenance. I don't want any hot tubes because I got kids, or dogs or whatever. And, they give me some parameters. And then it's like, okay, let's go to work. And here's the room. It's a big empty room, and you do what you need to in there. And I've got a big empty room. It doesn't necessarily have to be big, but I've got an empty room from which to move forward with. and I'll guarantee my results when it's something like that. And I choose the rig, 100% guarantee on the results. Absolutely. So those are the ugly truths of hi-fi, and a lot of people don't tell you that. If you go into a dealer, they're not going to tell you that, not to buy that $15,000 DAC for a room where you can't put the speakers properly and they're set up cockamamie's, cockeyed or whatever, and you can't get them equal. I'm not going to sell you something like that. I'm going to find out what your capabilities are, what you can do, and then I'm going to sell within that range. So these ugly truths are some of the ugly truths, just to give you pointers and to save you money and time. But I also want to get your expectations in the right place, because you can't buy an amp to fix imaging. And let's say you put an amp in and the imaging gets better. That didn't tell you that, oh, this amp is the best there is. No. That is that. Thanks for joining. I appreciate it. I've chewed your ear off for about half an hour. I'm going to leave now. I'm actually going to tune out for a while. I got a cold. I got a fucking cold. Look at my face. It's really weird. Boredom and boredom, pretty much. Boredom will do it. Boredom and high fructose corn syrup. Bad things to do together. So, anyways, that's it. And I will fare you goodbye, and we shall join each other in the future time. All right, see you.